The musical career of St. Louis banjo legend John Becker has spanned more than half a century, confirming why his name has become synonymous with excellence in banjo playing. Born in 1919, John Becker was coming of age just as the instrument he would become most associated with, the tenor banjo, was fading from popularity. John Becker's first musical inspiration came from the weekly radio broadcasts of banjo icon Harry Reeser and the Clico Club Eskimos. Shortly thereafter, Becker had the good fortune to study the tenor banjo under a protege of Reeser named Genevieve Bunny Longo at the Hugo School of Music in St. Louis. Although Longo is recalled as being shy and demure, put a banjo in her hands and in Becker's words, she became a holy terror. Riding a wave of guitar popularity, John Becker put his beloved tenor banjo aside for over a decade. However, as if fate would not be content to allow his banjo talent to become a postscript to his musical story, a nostalgia craze swept the United States during the 1950s, bringing the banjo back into public favor. John Becker was not only ready for this trend, but welcomed the opportunity to return to his first musical love. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, Becker and his banjo became a fixture in the fashionable Gaslight Square entertainment district in St. Louis. Using his nightly performances as a proving ground, Becker began to experiment with an exciting banjo solo style which was rooted in classical violin technique, melded with his own unique jazz improvisations. Word of this phenomenon did not escape the St. Louis press, which dubbed him Big John Becker and often described his talents as nothing short of a national treasure. Humbly, Becker believes the true secret to his success was his ability to perform all types of music on the banjo. He was equally at ease with Brahms' Hungarian Dance No. 5 as he was with dueling banjos. And should an old banjo favorite such as Alabama Bound, the 12th Street Rag, or Camptown Races be requested, Big John was more than happy to oblige. When Gaslight Square fell on hard times in the 1970s, Becker's musical future seemed uncertain. However, just as if it were planned, in 1978 he began a long musical association with jazz pianist and vocalist Gene Kittrell. Joined by bass player Billy Houston, their trio, known as the Blues Emporium, took up residence at the Robert E. Lee Steamboat Restaurant located in the shadow of the Gateway Arch and quickly became an entertainment institution along the St. Louis riverfront. Although many years have passed and band personnel has changed, John Becker and Gene Kittrell remained at the core of some of the finest traditional jazz music to be created in the city whose musical heritage is steeped in this truly American art form. Although well established as the premier jazz banjoist in St. Louis, John Becker remained a regional celebrity until the 1980s, when his extensive touring gave many jazz and banjo fans around the world their first chance to experience his formidable talent. As a featured performer with bands such as the Jazz Incredibles, the St. Louis Rivermen, the Spirit of St. Louis, and the River City Ramblers, John Becker performed at numerous jazz festivals around the United States, as well as making extended concert tours of France, Germany, Scotland, and the Netherlands. During one such overseas jaunt in 1995, the Jazz Incredibles flew to Tokyo, where they not only performed in concert, but made a CD with the Japanese Dixieland band, the Storyville Incredibles, as well. On the home front, the talents of Big John Becker seemed omnipresent. He performed in concert with both major St. Louis symphony orchestras, did historic ragtime concerts with noted pianist Max Morath, and played in the pit orchestra for Hello Dolly with Carol Channing in the lead role. However, Becker's most notable endeavor during this time saw him teamed with banjoist and internationally known music publisher Mel Bay, along with Baseball Hall of Fame member Stan Musial playing harmonica in an entertaining trio known as Geriatric Jazz. John Becker often comments, "If I leave this world knowing I was able to make my audience understand that the banjo is a truly musical instrument capable of producing virtually any style of music, I will have considered my life to be a success." By this definition, Big John Becker may proudly look back upon a successful life and career in which he has not only achieved his musical goals, but in the process has become a beloved figure to both musicians and the general public alike.